Good morning, everyone. My name is Raissa. I'm from the University of Adelaide. I'm so glad that I could see all the presentations within these 3 days because it's really fun with my research interest. And this is my very first research, which is using the RSD framework. So, research skill development, integrated online reports for critical thinking skills. As we know that critical thinking skills is one important factor for students in order to have such an effective learning, because by having a good quality of critical thinking, students could have a good quality of reasoning, decision making, and also communicating and in implementing what they've learned in the communities. It is suggested in the literature that particular framework should be enhanced, should be integrated in order to enhance the critical thinking skills of students. And one most relevant framework to be integrated in order to develop student critical thinking skills is the RSD framework, due to its 6 facets that could lead students into a higher order thinking-based learning. And it is also suggested in the literature that the integration of technology could actually help students to develop their critical thinking skills, because by using technology, integrating technology in learning, the teacher could generate such a meaningful teaching. So in this study, we looked at the perceptions of the students after having an experience of integrating RSD framework and at the same time also technology in their learning. And we would like to also see the perceptions of the tutors, whether the integration of the RSD framework and also technology in learning, whether it could develop student critical thinking skills or not. So this study is conducted in Indonesia, in one of Indonesian university. So the idea is that in that Indonesian university, particularly in the Faculty of Education, the Biology Education Department, there is one course called Plant Physiology course. In the Plant Physiology course, they have face-to-face activity and also lab activities. So this study was conducted in the lab activity. So the participants were 39 of undergraduate students and also 2 lab tutors who are responsible for the lab activity. So in this lab activity, every week students are required to report their lab activity experiments and also the results in the form of online report. So they need to collect this online report once in a week. But students used to do this by using papers and like a written lab report. But in this study, we tried to ask students to create create an online report. So the students, instead of writing the lab report by using papers, they use WordPress as an online tool for them to generate their online report. And in writing the online report, students are required to write it with this according to the structure of RSD rubric. So before they generated their online report, we gave them the RSD rubric, and they need to write their online report according to that rubric. So after the 13 weeks of implementation, students were asked by using the questionnaire about their perceptions after using the online report within the 13 weeks of implementation, whether the online report based on RSD rubric could help them in developing their critical thinking skills. And also, we also looked at the tutors' perceptions regarding to the use of online report, whether the use of online report helps students to develop their critical thinking skills. And this is the screenshot of the online report, which is with the use of WordPress. And next to it, this is the rubric that I used. As we can see that there are 6 criteria according to the 6 facets of RSD. So, and in the questionnaire, I also asked students 3 open field questions regarding to students' perceptions of their critical thinking skills. And at the first questions, according to the students' answers in these open field questions, students stated that most of them stated that the skills of communication and also application are important for a critical biology learning for them. And they also think that of communications and applications are skills that could help them to develop their critical thinking skills. And the last questions, most of the students stated that the skills of organization and also management become a skills that could be a barrier for them to develop their critical thinking skills. And this is the conclusion of students' answer on the Likert scale questions, asking about their perceptions of the use of the online report to develop their critical thinking skills. So students just give a little bit agreement regarding to the use of the RSD integrated online report for developing their skills in managing and also organizing. This is such an unfortunate thing because as we saw in the previous slides, that actually the issues of management and also organizational issues become a barrier for students in developing their critical thinking skills. But in fact, this online report could not help students to manage, to develop their skills and in managing and also organizing as well. However, according to students' perceptions on the questionnaire, students gave a high agreement regarding to the use of the RSD integrated online report for developing their skills in communicating and also applying. This is such a good thing because according to the students' answer on the open field questions, that most of the students stated that skills of applying and also communicating indeed help them to develop their critical thinking skills. So from these results, we could say that this, to some extent, the RSD integrated online report could help students to develop their critical thinking skills. However, according to the list, students' perceptions on particular initiative which is implemented on them could always change within years. So it could be that if we ask students in the next 2 years or 3 years about their perception on the initiative, there is a possibility that students could change their perceptions. So this is the results of the interviews to the tutors regarding to the use of the initiative, whether the tutors think that the initiative could help students to develop their critical thinking skills. And the tutors really think that the initiative is effective and efficient, and they really like the rubric because it really helped them in marking the online report. But again, just like what students stated in the open field questions, tutors also highlighted the issues emerged within the implementation of the RSD integrated online report regarding to the time management issues. So it's still the issues related to organizational and also management issues. Therefore, the tutors suggested there should be a training session prior to the implementation of the RSD integrated online report. And the tutors also recommended there should be a particular guidebooks for implementing, for using the RSD rubric and also for using the WordPress itself. And all the perceptions from the tutors interview are relevant with the literatures that we use in the study. And from the perceptions of the regarding to the use of the RSD integrated online report to develop student critical thinking skills, we can conclude that according to the tutors, time management issues emerged, and they recommended the guidebooks and trainings prior to the implementation so that there will be a better implementation of the initiative in the future. For the students only highlighted the issues of management and organizational aspect, but they did not state anything regarding to the need of clear articulation, clear guidance, even trainings prior to the implementation of the initiative. And this is really interesting. Maybe after this presentation, I would like to hear your opinion why this data could emerge. But before that, so the conclusion of the study is that the students and tutors actively approve the use of the RSD integrated online report as having contributed to the students' critical thinking skills, even though there were still issues in the organizational and management aspects. And the significance of this study, the RSD integrated online report may encourage students to think more critically, and also this initiative could promote the way teachers employ technology in a learning process, because if you see the educational system in Indonesia, maybe in Jakarta, in particular schools, they are already fantastic. They make use of this technology in a really effective way. But in the one particular university where I conducted this study, we just began of making use of technology in teaching and learning. So the implementation of this study might give the lecturers idea of how to make use of RSD, and also as the framework, and also the ICT for creative teaching and also learning. So I will be happy to receive some questions. Thank you.